to mute my phone.
Hi, everybody. This is Bearda Friday. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for watching. So I feel a bit guilty because we were on a long hiatus. And so you guys even coming to watch this is like, thank you so much because, hey, I don't like flaky YouTubers either. So much love to you guys. So today I have a very special guest. Her name is Adeola, and on the East Coast, she is known for throwing weddings that something goes viral on every time. I don't know what the magic is, but whatever it is, she has it, and maybe she will give us maybe she'll give us some, I don't know, hot tea today. So hi Adeola, say something.
Hi, hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm shy.
Oh gosh. She's not shy. Well, I don't think you're extroverted like that.
No, I think I'm an introverted extrovert.
Okay,
Yeah.
twins in that area. Twins, definitely twins in that area. So yes, welcome Adiola. So full disclosure, we're supposed to be here on Sunday,
I know.
but our busy CEO, she slept off. Um,
Really.
she slept off, and I completely cannot hold it against her. So we definitely understand it's a busy weekends these days are busy. Adulting is tough,
It
and we
is.
give it all to God.
And
And let's
sleep
just
is my kryptonite.
let's just give it all to God. If you are watching, please drop a hello in the comments and drop say where you're watching from. Would love to hear from you. So let's just jump into it, right? So on Sunday when you were in here, Diola, I shared this story. So funny enough, I was like really happy. Just a few moments before I got on, I found out that this girl who was kidnapped, she had been found. I was so
Mm,
happy because it was giving Nigeria kidnapping. It was giving deeply. I was like, no, we did not cross oceans and seas for this nonsense. I'm not about to. That's how I was feeling. I don't know. I don't know what you were feeling. Maybe you can give us like a tip or two.
I okay, so once I hear somebody gets kidnapped, the first thing I say is I pray they're found alive.
Yes, that's what I said too.
So immediately I heard that, oh, she was found. I was just like, thank God she's not dead. So
Yeah,
I
that's
believe.
that's That's the same. I actually said it on like when I was waiting for you. I was like, because we hear people are found,
Right,
but it's a different thing to be found alive. And
right.
I have an aunt that I think it's been a decade now. She
Oh,
just
wow.
left the house and never came back. And I can't imagine what it's like for our kids. Finding
No,
someone means it's over.
Right.
Whether you
Right.
find them, it's
Dead
like
or alive.
over. But never finding is
Right.
another kind of torture. And I was like really happy. So today we're hearing all kinds of conspiracy theories. She wasn't kidnapped. I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I don't even care. I just thank God that
That
what was
she was
lost,
found.
that what was
Yep.
lost was now found, and that's it for me. I don't want any other. I don't even involve me in you people's madness. So that's how I'm feeling. Right. So I also shared this story about um, this bride. A lot of drama with this bride, and one of the bridesmaids shared it on Reddit. So let me chime in for a bit. If you're watching, hello, drop a hello in the comments and let us know where you're watching from. Thank you so much for coming on. Please like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. So as I was saying, the particular bride, very dramatic, chose the colors for her bridesmaids. I'm still going to ask you if that's like a thing. I when I got married, you would say this is the color that they wanted, but if they're like close friends, you would also kind of like try to give it to them for a vote. I thought that was, I don't know, maybe things have changed. So anyway, she went out and bought the dresses. She went out, bought the dresses, right? And then she's like, I bought only size 8. So if you're not a size 8, go lose weight quick. Yes. So the fact that you're making that face, it shows that yes, 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 it's not a thing for people to do. But that's what she did. She was like, everybody go to the gym. You have time to lose weight. I think it was like it's like in 3 months because this is what July. I think it's like in 3 months. Let me just kind of show. Um, I made kind of like a little video. She said, "I'm a." So she so the person who posted it said she's a size 12. She just had a baby. And so them telling her to go lose weight to become a size 8, she knows she cannot do it, so she's out, right? So then she shares other things that the bride is requiring. She's like, of course she doesn't want kids, which I see a lot of. She's like, hair must be what is it? Shoulder length. It must be straightened. The straightening must be this, must be that. Nails must be uncolored. They must be short. She shares some other stuff. Let me see. Da, 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 da. Where is this thing moving to? Okay. She's yes, no kids, and the flower girl, they're going to go drop her off at home. She mentioned some other stuff, very dramatic. But yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to ask you, is that like a thing? Uh,
Um. So no, I have had some extreme brides that are very particular as to what they want, but never to that extreme, like asking your bridesmaids to lose weight. Like, what do you think this is? Biggest losers?
Oh
Hello?
my God, they're biggest losers. Yeah, but I didn't even think about that. That's
Like, what do
hilarious.
you think this is? And yeah, like if you don't want them to do their nails and their hair should be shoulder length, do you want people to look trashy on your wedding day?
I can't hear you properly.
Like, I'm like, do you want people that looks trash on your wedding day? Like, what
No,
is
but
even
no,
what
but she
is that
said
even?
something that helped us understand where she's coming from, right? The person who would have been her maid of honor, who has been her best friend since they were kids, she said that person can be her maid of honor because that person is dark. So that person is a Native American, so her skin is darker than the rest of them. So she was like, this person is not going to be my maid of honor because she's going to draw attention to her instead of to
So
me. That's the bride saying that, right? So because of that, she will not be my maid of honor.
yeah, I definitely
And
see insecurity in all of that.
yeah, so I'm like, is that what you have to deal with? I said,
Sis. Oh, if I start, we're not going to finish. But yeah, I've had to deal with some very, very dramatic brides. Very dramatic. I do know that now brides pick the color and sometimes they pick the style of the dress that
mm,
their bridesmaids would wear. Now I
okay,
know that there are some brides that are very nice that they pick a color and then they go in that color and look for dresses, different styles. and then send it to their group of bridesmaids and then tell them to pick the one that they prefer. But yeah, I know the brides these days, they have a specific look they're going for when it comes to hair, makeup, dress, and all of that. And the nice ones give options. So they have like three tops, and then they have asked the bridesmaids to pick. And I think I've only had one bride in a while that specifically say, all of you have to wear this dress. I'm only giving you guys one option, but not to the extent of this
And
bridezilla and that
this
was
by Dilla Auntie,
that was
I'm just like sometimes, and I feel like really critical. I'm like, Biodo, your case is very special. You just want to go to the justice of the peace, and they just put your ring on your finger and put a ring, and you just be like, go home. That's kind of like my own thing.
uh-huh.
But I definitely understand, people like going crazy a bit. But anyway, to anyone who's watching, our guest today is Adeola Oladele. She is the CEO of.
Whisper events.
I was going to leave it to you to say because I knew I was going to mess it up. I was like, Whisper Events. Okay. So she's the CEO of Whisper Events. She's also the author of Road to Self, a book about self discovery. And I have a couple of questions for you, Adeola. And please, I cannot wait for you to answer them. If you're watching, please share the link with anyone your friends. This is going to be plenty of fun. The weird part is when we say self discovery, even the running around and everything that comes with hosting anything, you can discover yourself from hosting. You might think you're nice, you might think you're friendly, you might think you're patient until you have to host a big event, and then you realize,
Maybe not.
maybe not. So my first question is two things couples forget when planning their wedding. What do you think?
Number one is forgetting the fact that the wedding is not theirs, it's for their parents.
Okay.
Like, most couple forget the fact that, especially my Nigerian couples, they completely neglect the fact that when I'm getting married, this is my parents' way of showing me off. This is
Mm.
their way of saying, this is how far I brought this child. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't get pregnant out of wedlock. They didn't just move in to start living with somebody. We're
Mm-hmm.
actually having a wedding, like a whole wedding. So
Yes.
most of my Nigerian or African couples forget the fact that the wedding is their parents' way of showing them off. So
Yeah.
they completely neglect that until it's like maybe 5 months to the wedding. And then the parents start saying, oh, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is how I want it. And then there's a clash.
Mm.
So what I always tell my couple is, if you're having a traditional and a white wedding, let the traditional be your parents. Let them do it anyhow they want to do it. If they want to have 1 million people inside, let them have it. Give them what they want on that traditional day so that you
Mm-hmm.
can have the wedding of your dreams. Because if you give them that day, they would allow you to have your wedding. So that's number one. They always forget their parents when they're planning their wedding. Another thing that they forget are the little expenses. So bride and groom, they think about the hall, they think about the photographer, they think about the DJ, they think about the MC, but most times they don't, excuse me, they don't consider the cost of the dress. They don't consider the cost of the wedding shoes. They don't consider jewelries. They don't consider the cake. They don't consider their change of clothes. So like all of these other things. So when a bride comes to me or a couple comes to me and they say our budget is $50,000 and my guest list is 300 people, I'm looking at you like, does that include food and hall and pictures and videos? Because and decoration, because those four alone is close to 30 and or 40,000, give or take. So if you're coming to me with a 50,000 budget, Your guest list better be 100. Yeah, because what are we doing? You're going to be stressed out. I'm going to be stressed out. On top what? So like, let's be real here. If your guest list is 100, 150, and your budget is $50,000, then make it
$50,000
work.
is a lot of money.
No, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of money. It is.
But in this inflation times, I mean,
In this inflation times, the hall alone can go up to $15,000. The hall alone. And that's a factor of the kind of ambience that you're looking for. So if you're looking for a hall that already has a chandelier, they have the Shivari chairs, they already look beautiful. Fifteen
I'm
thousand
just
dollars is not
nodding.
even
I'm just nodding. I don't even know what this thing. I'm just like, yes,
fifteen
yes.
thousand dollars is not even gonna cut it when it comes to the hall alone.
I have one question. Do you think you have couples that see weddings, especially ethnic weddings, from other countries and in other destination places, and they're not factoring in the fact that it might be cheaper there, the way payments work there, maybe it's different, and so they kind of don't factor in the fact that when you're replicating here, it's a different cost. Is that part of it?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that I used to think I'm gonna relate to Nigeria a lot. I used to think going to Nigeria and having a wedding would be cheaper, but I'm learning that that's not necessarily true. If you're going to have a wedding for 300 to 400 people in Nigeria now, you better be budgeting at least maybe like 20 million naira. And 20 million naira in American currency is also close to $50,000. So like it's almost interchangeable.
It's almost
It's
interchangeable.
just that
Okay.
the only difference that the couple here forgets is the fact that most times in Nigeria, they have family members that are willing to chip
That
in.
would chip in.
They have family members that are willing to chip in. So when you're looking at that, and sometimes the people that have these glamorous wedding and big weddings in all these countries are celebrities that already have friends that are doing that, they're contributing stuff to that.
And some of it
Like,
is sponsored.
exactly. They're helping them to do it. So when we now compare and contrast, it's like you're shooting yourself in the leg because number one, this is not Nigeria. So it's like you're really, so that's why I say it's a yes and no. It's a yes and no. There's some things that you will get cheaper over there, and there's some things that they're necessarily not as cheap
Okay.
as it would be if you do it over
You did
there.
it here. So someone is asking what is a reasonable budget?
I always say definitely your budget is a factor of your guest. So, and then also a factor of what are you looking for. Don't be looking for a champagne value and your budget is Coca-Cola. Kole where?
Hey,
It ain't gonna work. So I would say
Jesus.
for a beautifully planned wedding of about
Mm-hmm.
200 guests, I would say anything from $60,000 and above. It's a good money. And the reason why I say that is with that, you give yourself enough room. Another mistake that couple make is they start with an unrealistic budget. A couple's wedding guest is 300 people, and you're coming to me and saying again your budget is $40,000. Where? And then when we now start breaking down the things that we're doing and we get to decor, you tell me you want things to be flowing from the ceiling and you want flowers everywhere and you want your initials on the wall with $40,000. No, make it make sense. That
Hey.
like those are the things. And like most times when I tell my couple that the things that really take the money are those things that you think will not be a big deal, like the core. The flowers alone can be $8,000. Flowers alone. Yes. Flowers alone can be $8,000. Now the things that accompany a beautifully made sweetheart table, The sweetheart table is only the place where the couple and the bride and the groom would sit.
Okay.
That section that it starts from 2,500. That section alone. And that 2,500 is the most minimalistic sweetheart table that you would get.
So
Now, if you
basically a chair and a table is what you're going
yes,
to give. You
yes,
know
and
what?
then
I
you
have
get
a
candles
question.
around it. You
Hmm.
get
I have
candles.
candles. Okay, I have a question, right?
Yeah.
Because a part of me is like, maybe whenever anybody wants to book a consult to you, just send them this video first. I'll be like, this is the video. Okay. And thank you, the person who asked that question about what is a reasonable budget. My jaw is just dropping, and I'm like, because I was thinking to myself when I was like, what am I even going to ask you? I was thinking like, what does inflation look like to your industry and to events and all of those things? But I also wanted to ask, what mistakes, what mistakes do you really want to emphasize that people ought to stop making when they're prepping for wedding or big birthdays like the 40s, 30s, those, or the 16s? I don't know.
Unless your family member who is a photographer is a professional photographer, which
Okay.
means by professional, I mean this is what they do. They do it for others. You've seen them work
You have their portfolio.
consecutively for years and they deliver on time. Their work is quality. Do not go with family. Do not go with friends because family most times would treat your job like, she's my sister. I can do it however I want to do it. And it's a
Wow.
mistake that has constantly happened with most of my clients. I always say, if that's your family member, necessarily not. Especially when they're saying, don't pay me or pay me $500. Don't do it because it's either they don't show up or they show up late or they show up and they're stressing you on the day that they show up.
Wow.
So it's like, what's the point? And like
Yeah.
it's as always happened. When I tell my client, if this is your family or friends, and they're giving you a big discount. Now I have families that have come to me to plan weddings, right? And I've given them discounts, but I make you sign a contract. This is business. It's not relationship. I'm not doing you a favor. It's my business. So I'm doing it as my, so you're signing contract. We have meetings. I treat you like I would treat an outsider who just found me online and is my client. Now, when a family starts saying, it's okay, just give me $500, don't do it because they're not going to deliver. They're going to give you half-assed job or no job at all. I have planned a wedding where my client used our best friend from high school for pictures. Guess what? There were no pictures. And on the wedding day, yes, sis, yes. On the wedding day, this guy was going up and down, below and up and like you would think he was taking pictures. After the wedding, it was nothing to show for it. Absolutely nothing to show for it.
No, but wait, did he take pictures or not?
After the wedding, he comes and says his film finished and he
Okay.
didn't realize it. So there was no pictures. The only picture from their wedding that we have were pictures that somebody took with their phone.
Oh,
Like so
wow.
stuffs like that. I have had a wedding where a client used our uncle to be DJ and MC. DJ and MC. Since I had to
No, but
MC the
wait, how
wedding.
can you be DJ and MC at the same time?
I had to MC the wedding. Personally had to hold the mic and MC the wedding because at that point it's either we don't have an MC and the wedding flops, or I do
Yeah.
everything that I can as a planner,
Yes, so kind of
step in.
chiming. Yeah.
So I had to hold the mic when it was time for reception to call in the
Someone is a
people.
DJ MC. Like, okay. So Diala, give us the differences between a DJ and an MC.
So the DJ is the person that plays the music. The MC is like the host of the event. Two completely different people. Many times, bride and groom try to mix them together. It's a fail.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I can see that. I can see that happening, but maybe for a birthday, not for a wedding.
No, even for a birthday, no. At the after party, when the DJ is hyping the people to dance, yes. But the DJ is not the one that's supposed to be saying, now let's welcome Damilare Akpelumi. No, because he has to focus on the music.
Yes.
He cannot be saying finally it's time to invite the latest couple in town, Mr. and Mrs. How is he going to do that when he's trying to figure out what song to play for Mr. and Mrs.? That's why it would not work. So since that day, I have it in my contract now that if I tell you not to use a vendor and you use the vendor, if the vendor flops and I have to inconvenience myself to fill in, I'm charging you extra. No, seriously. I had another wedding where it was an uncle that's going to DJ, no, to MC the wedding. And I said, I don't know if that's a good idea. Let me give you MC. She said, no, it's okay. We had our meeting. This guy knows nothing about weddings. Nothing about weddings. Guess what? Rehearsal night comes. Uncle is stuck where he is at. He cannot make it down. So that night we had to hustle and find an MC.
And then you would have to pay.
So like, why go through the stress?
All of that stress. Okay, I see what you're saying. So
Why
this is
go
a
through all the
question.
stress?
This is a question for us. Hi, Henry. Hi, Easy Breezy Live. Shout out to Tishi and Manny, the big boys. Um, so is there still film photography at events these days? So the person who sent this comment is a photographer himself,
Mhm.
is a journalist himself, is in tech. So I can already understand why he's asking this. Why he's asking this question. Okay, so what do you think? Do you think
Uh I don't. If I don't even know how to
you're
answer
not
that
paying
question.
attention to those things because you're like so deep into
Yeah,
your
I
event
don't know
planner
how to answer that
how to
question.
answer that? Okay, okay.
I know that I
We
know
can come
the
back to the question. We can come back.
yeah.
We can come back to you guys. Keep the questions coming. We love the questions. Okay, he said, I do photography, but I never accept weddings because of the complications of meeting the requirements. You know what? I understand. I kind of understand this because it's very weird, right? After
Mhm,
the wedding, this is for like the wedding, the people who are getting married, and there's a traditional aspect and there's a civil aspect and all of that.
mhm,
After the
mhm.
church, or
Right.
after the mosque, people come out and they take pictures. You have
Mhm.
like an arrangement, bride's father and bride's mother, blah, blah, blah. But for some reason, people are always upset. There's always some Oloriebi.
That is
Let me
angry that
translate.
they did not take picture.
Yes, there's always some.
You're right.
So translation of Oloriebi is like a family head, family,
In
like the oldest person in the family who
the
kind of
family.
tells who like if there's anything, the person kind of makes the decision. That person or some auntie or some uncle is upset because they are not in the wedding album, you know. And before, I feel like before photographers used to always um kind of have that understanding that there will be aunties and uncles. But these days, photographers these days they don't even care. They're like, "Who are you? You were not there at the meeting." I don't know what you think.
I
Weddings have become a production.
I don't even honestly I don't even care anymore either because at the end of it you're just delaying things. Or we're looking for uncle of the bride, uncle of the bride. Like we're shouting at the top of our lungs. Nobody answers. When we moved on to friends of the
Then the
couple,
uncle is like,
that's where uncle is like, I haven't taken, sir, ma, your time have gone. You know how many uncles and aunties have tried to fight me?
Oh my gosh.
But it's okay.
Stop.
We'll be all right at the end of it all.
So not
Yeah.
only is this a tasking industry, you also have to be able to throw down
You
because some
also
auntie might come at you like,
for years, I used to be, oh no, I don't want to step on the client's toes. I don't want to be rude. I don't, but since last year, sis,
oh,
it's like, this is what we're doing and fine. I had to literally put an auntie of the groom in her place last year, one of my weddings last year. And after that, she was like, oh, I'm so sorry, my dear. I wasn't trying to. I was like, why do you guys only respond to violence? Like, why?
That's a good question. We'll park that question. That's a very I felt that before. Like, why don't you respond to niceness? So why
Like,
only violence? I know. So
why?
our boundaries. The next question I have for you is actually, are boundaries important when planning a wedding? So this is from your clients, like from husband and wife. Are boundaries important when planning a wedding? And have you experienced a situation where you had to tell a client not to hire a vendor? Maybe you had previously worked with them or something.
So yes, definitely, boundaries are very important with especially with the client's family, because I have had a wedding where the groom's mom, whew, sis, literally yelled at me in front of everybody. Like,
Oh.
when I say yelled, and I just stood there, looked at her, and I walked away because I was like, if I say something, the wedding is over, because it's no way. Even my mother, she doesn't yell at me anymore. Who? No. I just looked at her, dad. I just walked away. The husband that came to meet me, he was like, I'm so sorry. That's like the husband shall like
Yeah.
crucified
He's
me
under
to be
pressure.
right. No, 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 not under pressure. She's
Yeah.
we're gonna pack that.
People be people. Okay.
But I had to learn to set those kind of boundaries and tell my client, I'm dealing with you, not your
Not
mom, not your dad's. On the day of your wedding, I'm going to be nice to them. I'm going to treat them as nicely as possible. But I
mhm,
need them to understand that my priority is the both of you. I'm not there to tend to their emotions. I'm
mhm,
not there to tend to their guests.
mm.
I'm not there to make sure their guests have a seat.
Eat.
No.
Yes. Or
Or
eat.
eat food. No, I'm there to make sure that my client, that day runs smoothly. I am
Mhm,
there to make sure that that day for my client is stressless, it's smooth, it's easy, and they have fun. I'm not there to tend to my friend has not eaten. What am I supposed to do about that? Go and start looking for food for your friend. Like, so I've learned that, and I've learned that through number one, groom's mom feeling like they can yell at me. Number two, client's family feeling like they can yell at my team. Like, it
That's
got so bad. We had an event last year. One of my team members started to cry.
oh, that's
Yes,
not
because one of the client's family felt like it was okay to yell and insult her. And that pissed me off so much that I was going to cause a scene. I had to go sit in my car for a minute because I can take it. Don't be yelling at my team member. Why are you doing that?
yeah.
I even mean that I hired them. I don't yell at them. Who are you to yell at them? So, like, I have learned that creating that boundary helps. It
Yeah.
helps me to be the best that I can be for my client. It also helps me to be the best I can be for the family. So I have my
Okay.
clients tell their family member on that day, these are the places that you cannot go to. These are the lengths. These are the boundaries that you cannot cross. Let us respect
I don't
ourselves.
want peace. I want problems. Always. Oh my god, that's hilarious. And I want
So,
problems
like, yeah.
always. Some people stay in problem mode. You just want
They
problems
do.
always.
Some people really do. And back to
Yes. Like, have you
Henry's
ever told a
question.
couple, you know what, don't work with this vendor
Oh
badly?
yes. Oh yes. I have had to a few times. In fact, one vendor that I worked with this my one of my wedding this year, he just got on my bad book. I'm never gonna work with, and like no seriously, like as a vendor, you need to be professional. You need to be able to cover the rest of the vendors that are there. But if you're selfish because you want to sell yourself, because you want people to see you so you can get other businesses, but you're not considerate of the fact that this is how things are going right now. Let me cover up. All you just want to do is to shine.
Oh,
All you
okay.
want to do is shine. All you want to do is see that people so that people will know that I am a good.
Yeah.
You don't care about how any other vendor on that day turns out. Then I don't want to
Mhm.
work with
Oh
you.
yeah, yeah. I've seen that. I've
Yeah,
seen that
I
before.
don't want
I've
to
seen
work
that
with
before.
you.
I've seen that before.
I would rather not have you on my team than have you on my team and then you're tearing down other people or you're making the show all about you because it's not all about you.
Okay.
So yeah, I have had to tell my clients not to work with a particular vendor because number one, I know their attitude. Number two, they are celebrity vendors, which
Oh, okay.
means yeah, they will come on that day, but they're not going to make your guest feel like they care
Special.
about them. They're
Yeah.
not going to make your guests feel like, oh, like you're welcomed. They
Hmm.
want to
So
do
let
what they have
so,
to
so
do.
let's sorry to cut you off, but let's kind of who is a celebrity vendor? Like, who is the kind of person that you who knows these people? Because I'm not gonna lie, if you're watching, Adeola is one of those people on the East Coast that if you want to do any wedding, any event, right, you call her. And I've had to call you before, you know, my family was there and we're talking about an event. So I've experienced it. I know that you're very professional, very sympathetic, very like if you say, oh, this is the budget, you're like, okay, let's see what we can work with. You know, I've spoken to planners in the past that are very just boom, 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 boom. And this, do you see the way my face was just now? That's how they're
Yeah.
facing. That's how they're facing. It's like, you know, but I know that that's not your vibe. So when you say celebrity vendors, what does that look like? Because it sounds like there's some vendors that maybe they almost feel like they're doing you a favor.
Right. Of course. Of course. I know vendors that they they um
Okay.
they only come to your events if you
If you are somebody like boom boom boom.
yeah or if
Wow.
you pay their highest package.
Wow. Wait, so
Yeah.
there's a like high package, there's a lower package, there's a
Oh
so what
yeah.
so why not just scrap the other packages and just leave?
No.
Why not just do that?
Because then they would not make more money. Like so they can have like 4 events in a day. And then
Oh,
whoever pays the highest, they will go to the
higher.
event and then they'll hire other people to go to
Like
the other.
subcontractor?
Yep. Yep. And then like
That is that is so scummy. No.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've worked with vendors that on that day all they care about is going viral. Like
Hmm.
yes, we all want to go viral. We all want to be seen on Instagram. But when the viral attitude comes in
When
expense
everything calms down.
yeah, in expense of my clients having the most important thing that they want for that day, then
Hmm.
what are we doing?
What are we
I would
doing?
rather go viral on places where we never even intended to go viral.
Yeah,
Like,
which I believe is what happens. Yeah.
yes, like Darian and Kwelumi's wedding. We went
Yeah.
viral. We went
Hmm.
viral on that. On the place where we didn't even think we would go viral. Like
Hmm.
Oyi and Deolu's wedding. Like
Yes.
those
Hmm.
kind of viralness are
Yeah.
virals that I
It's
know.
unplanned. It's
I
unplanned.
had a
But it
wedding
was
in
just
New
the
York
energy.
too,
It's just the
that
energy.
we went viral just because the bride and the groom were holding hands and praying.
This is a good question. Is there a sign? Is there a way to sign a clause that sounds like your family members can insult you? This is a good question. Is there a way to say, if anybody in your family insults me, you have to pay so and so?
Oh, I have it in my client. I have it in my contract now.
Okay.
After that wedding that the mother of the groom yelled at me, I have it in my contract, and I tell my client that on the day of your wedding, I need you to talk to your family. I will try my best possible to make sure we don't clash, but I also need them to behave themselves. Like, I'm not going to be dealing with a family member that just talks to me anyhow. Like, yeah, you paid me for service. You didn't pay for my life. You didn't pay for my sense. You didn't
Jesus.
pay. It's true. You don't
You didn't
owe me.
pay. You did not pay for my blood.
You didn't pay for my blood. You don't owe me. I'm giving you the service that you paid for. Respect me as a person.
You're right. Like we don't do. You know, the funny part of it is we don't do this to. And I'm going to speak from like ethnic communities. When we
Mhm.
have certain kinds of planners, we don't do this to them. We don't
Right,
do
right,
this to them. We have
exactly.
different expectations with them, and at the
Right.
end of the day, they mess things up because they don't know the tradition.
They don't.
Then when we now hire somebody who knows the tradition, who knows what to give us, and I noticed that you're also exceptional at events that are like a bride from Tanzania and a groom from Ghana, those kind of mixtures. So
Right.
when you have someone that is ready to carry that complication, right? You can't just be yelling at them for no reason.
Hello.
So we have another question. As the planner, what do you do when you're dealing with diva vendors who come and stop the whole show?
So first of all, if you're a diva vendor, and I know that that's who you are, right? When I'm walking my timeline, so I have something called a timeline, which is like a
Like a
lowdown of
checklist?
how the day will go.
Okay.
So if I know if I know for a fact that as a photographer or videographer, you have to be there at we need you to be there at 11 so that things can kickstart. And I know that you're a diva vendor, and I know that you come late. First of all, I would have told my client from the beginning, so if they haven't hired you before I came on board, I would tell them your characteristics. This is
Hey.
how this person works. If you want to go with that person, I'm okay with it, because ultimately you make the decisions. I don't.
I don't.
It's your wedding, it's how you want it to play. But I'm going to give you the pros and cons of going with every vendor that you choose. Now, if you still want to go with that diva vendor, of course, I'm going to work with them. That's what professionalism is. But when I am building my timeline, I'm going to build it in a way where even though I need you there by 11, I'm going to put you to be there at 10. So if you stroll in at 11 o'clock, we're still on time. And I always make sure that all my timelines have buffers in them. I always put in buffers so that even if something is running late, we are not crazy late. Now, does this mean we have not seen situations where something unexpected happens, like
Happened.
a father deciding to go home as we're about to start the traditional wedding to go and carry food from the house when he can send somebody and he knows for a fact that we cannot start the
Yes,
traditional wedding.
without the father being there. And maybe he was nervous and he needed to use the bathroom, but it was to be
No,
fully honest.
sis, he wasn't. Because I literally just spoke to him 5 minutes before. He said, I want to quickly go home.
Mhm.
I said, sir, please, sir, don't go. Send somebody else. It's not far. It's 30 minutes away. But it's 30 minutes to go. It's 30 minutes to come back. Please, sir, don't go. I went to go and do something. My father has gone home to go and carry something. Ah, if I can carry cane and flog, I will. So, yes, there are times when stuff like that happen. We can't control it. But
Yeah.
I just always make sure that I build in buffers into my timeline so that
Okay.
even if we're running late, we're still
You,
good in
you
time.
you're still good on time.
Right.
So this person says, I wish that I had their name or their picture. They said, have you ever cancelled on a couple? If yes, why? So you know what? Let me rephrase the question. If you would cancel on a couple, what would be like a reason? Or what would be something that could trigger?
If
Uh,
I so I have never canceled on a couple, but a bride has canceled on me, and I'll tell the story. Um,
where's my mug? Because this is tea.
if I
Okay.
ever cancel on a couple, the reason why I would cancel on you would be that ah, what can you do? No, maybe you insulted me. I think I'm learning that my tolerance skin is very deep. I can tolerate a
Threshold
lot.
is very
Yeah.
high, right?
I'm learning that it's very, very high. So I cannot categorically say this is what a couple will do that will make me cancel on them,
So I
honestly.
guess if it's in your contract that they're not supposed to do something, you would probably say it's in my
Yeah,
contract. Shouldn't have done
exactly.
it.
Yeah. I think I'll
Okay.
cancel on the couple. And the bride, actually, she's late now. May I still rest in peace.
Amen.
A bride hired me 2 years ago now, right? Yeah, 2 years ago. Our wedding was supposed to be last year. And at first, we kicked it. We were good. The first 1 month of our planning, we knocked down the venue. We knocked down the venue for the trad, knocked down the venue for the white wedding. We went to go do our pre-wedding photo shoot in New York. I was there. We had till like 12 midnight that night. It was good. And then the next was for her to go wedding shopping. So I sent her ideas of how where she would go for wedding shopping. But I didn't know that she was expecting me to go with her to go and do wedding shopping. To your no, I'm not your bridesmaids. That's what your bridesmaids are supposed to go for. But maybe because she saw that I went with Oyin, but she didn't know that Oyin is my sister. So that's why I went with her to do wedding shopping. So
Yeah.
I think she got upset about that. And then one day, oh, I feel like you're no longer interested in this, and the third. And I was like, I'm giving it my best. What else do you want me to do? Like, I follow up with you. And then one day she calls me, she was like, and at that point I was already feeling pressured, gone. Remember, I was just like this is not even that serious. But again, because I would not just cancel on a bride like that, I kept taking it. One day she called me, she
It
was
can be devastating for a bride if their planner what?
just cancel. And then she called me, she was like,
Do
oh,
that.
I don't think we're a good fit, this and the
Oh
third.
wow.
I was like, oh, well, I'm so sorry to hear you say that, but no problem. I hope you find a planner that fits on what you're looking for and all of that.
Okay.
And then she was like, that's what you're gonna say? You're not going to beg me to stay? I was like, "Ah, sis, is it I want to cancel? I don't know how to be begging somebody like that. Like if you want to cancel, it's okay. Like let's keep it moving. So she cancels and she was like, I need you to give me my deposit back. I was like, Auntie, can't read your contract.
No, they
You
don't
said
do that.
deposit non-refundable. She was like, "Oh, so you mean you're not gonna give me my money back?" I was like, "I'm so sorry, I'm not." Like, "Oh, but that's not nice." This are I was like, "It's deposits." Walking so I was like, you know what? Just so that we don't ruin friendship, I'll give you 50% of your deposit. So, like
Your
I
deposit.
did give her 50% of the deposit back, and then we went. But come to realize, the planner she hired after that, she fired. The one she hired
Wow.
after that, she fired.
Wow.
so like
Yeah.
I would not cancel on a couple. Well, don't let me say never until
Never
it
say never.
happens. I have never
Never
had to
say never.
cancel.
So they won't cut out this part of the video and say, but you said you'd never cancel.
Yeah, I have never had to cancel on a couple
And a couple.
before.
Okay.
So
So if you're watching us, our guest today is Adeola Oladele. She is the CEO of Westbar Events. And she plans, not just weddings, she does birthdays, she does naming ceremonies. If you have quadruplets, she will do your naming ceremony for you and all that good stuff. So you're watching. On what basis do you think it would be reasonable for a planner to cancel a couple and say, you know what, I'm no longer working with you guys, it's over? So, Adiola, as you were saying, I was really shocked to hear what you said about, so you had this bride and she canceled and then literally threw a tantrum. So it
Right.
was almost like she didn't really want to cancel. She just wanted someone to like hold her hand. So, do you see a lot of uncertainty with people who are like prepping to get married? Like, are they afraid of the whole process? And what does that look like?
So I definitely think most times it's because I'm spending all this money for
Mm,
a 1 day, maybe a 2 day
to
event.
the event.
I need to know that I'm getting the best I can out of these 2 days. So most times it's because of that. But what most clients don't understand is if I'm telling you that everything is sorted, best believe everything is sorted. If there's
Okay.
anything that is not, I will let you know. Because again, it's my job to make sure you don't stress. So when you come to me panicking, I'm not going to panic with you. If I panic with you, I'm not a professional. I'm
Hmm.
supposed to calm you down.
Two
That
panickers cannot make a right.
exactly. Two panicky skin now. I've
Yes.
got a lot of my bride have told me, "Oh my God, why are you so calm? Things are not." And I'm like, "Don't worry, everything is going to be okay."
Yeah.
And on the day of the wedding, everything is okay.
Everything. Though I have to ask. I have to ask though,
Mhm.
because I personally feel like something must go wrong on a wedding.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
Something will go wrong. It
nobody
just
wants to
will not
hear that.
know.
Nobody wants to hear that, but I personally
Because,
feel like
I had weddings where I have had weddings where a caterer will come and tell me she's not going to serve if they don't pay. But guess what? The caterer serves the food because I will go on my knees and beg, wait, don't worry. After this wedding, I will collect your money for you.
for
But
you.
like, come and chase me. And that's why I tell my couple, I will go to war for you. Like literally go to war for you. So like, why are you freaking
Why are you
out?
freaking out? That's
Don't
good.
worry, everything is going to be okay. Like
Okay.
I'm the soldier man here. We are going to war this to the end.
To the
And after
end.
every night, I go to my couple and I ask them, "How do you feel?" And they always have this big smile on their face, like, "Oh my God, it was great."
Oh, that is so cute.
Like,
Thank you so much. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about, because we're talking all this 300, 400. That was what my wedding looked like to a whole lot of people. Some I didn't know. Some I was like, you don't even like me. Why are you here?
why are you here?
Yeah, people that have told me to my face, I don't even like you. And then you're on my wedding, like, why are you on my wedding? And my mom is like, they're not here for you, they're here for me. So
Yeah,
I relate with you saying, many times, especially with ethnic weddings, it's not about you.
right.
Half the time, it's not about you. Um, well, some people will argue and say, no, it's my day. So, yeah. So, your way of saying, let's separate it, give the parentals the traditional and give yourself the
Right.
civil, I think that makes a lot of sense. So, is it possible? Give us good news. Is it possible to is it possible to have an intimate Nigerian, Ghanaian, African wedding? And what things are non-negotiable if you want an intimate wedding, which is like, let's say, 70 to 100 people?
Destination, baby.
Oh,
Destination, baby. That's the only way it can be intimate.
destination
Destination. Because the truth is, if you're having the wedding where your family is, or even
where the church members or the mosque members or the
they're gonna be there. So the only way you can have an intimate ethnic wedding, traditional wedding, especially when it comes to African, or is destination. Like go somewhere, go to Mexico, go to Jamaica, because that way you streamline. Not a lot of people would fly. Not a lot of people want to spend that money. But if it's a driving distance, like it's not gonna work. That's the only way. Destination. Destinate it. Or you
I
elope.
am I am muting myself because the lover of his lawn is mowing his lawn again and is getting into my video. Some people will know what I'm talking about. Some people won't. Okay. So anyway, Joy O said, I wish I had you for my wedding. My wedding
Girl.
planner left me high and dry on the day of my wedding. So yeah, you were talking about non-negotiables and you said destination is key.
Yeah. Yeah. Destination is key. Or you elope.
I was going to say Vegas. but you
You
know that
elope.
elopements in ethnic communities is seen as like an insult. Then you go and elope, then you come back and they will be like, you have to have a real wedding.
At least you've eloped, and then you can tell them that, well, we're going to have a wedding, but give us a few years to
Mm.
gather the money.
To gather the
Yeah.
money. To gather the money for your crowd. Since you're going
Yeah.
to bring
Since you want to bring
all
everybody.
your yes, all your
Yeah.
colleagues and all your, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes so much sense. Okay.
Or another way to have an intimate. We don't want to do destination. Another way to have an intimate traditional wedding is just tell your parents you only want to go to court. You want to go to court. After the court, you want to go to a restaurant with family, and just that's it.
I trust my people. I trust my people. You see, can you see what she said? Can you see what she
I
said?
I see
She said
it.
everyone gathered together and
And
traveled
traveled on
on
vacation.
vacation. The bride was shaken, and I've seen this before. I no, I've actually seen this before.
I
I'm not
have
going to
seen
mention.
it
I'm going
too.
to. I'm not going to mention names because they will know. But this particular this particular issue, the country that they were going through was not, it's not a sexy country. It's not a country
Yeah.
that they say we're going here. Yeah, you'll be like, yo, I'm not going with you people. Have a nice union or whatever. That's the typical way you would respond. This one, the whole church, all like they even got like group tickets for the flight, everything.
I I always say, right,
Like there was no Ashoebi. They among themselves created an Ashoebi. For
my first question to most of my client is, who are you? Who are your parents? Who are you in your community? Who are you in your church? Who are your parents in your
oh, that's
community?
good.
Who are your parents in your church? Because again, if you are why you like, if it's like me now saying I want to have intimate wedding, please, how, where, like where, help me. I will be deceiving myself. From time immemorial, people have come and tell me, "Pe, Yola, if they boy you well, can't do wedding, I can't do per head. You will go bankrupt." And I know that I will go bankrupt because the amount of people that will come that day, even people that don't know, they will say, "It's Yola that is doing wedding, we are going."
Let's
So
go.
somebody like me, I will not say I want to do intimate. Where?
You're right.
How?
You're right.
What
You're
am
right.
I
So you have to
thinking?
look at yourself. You have
You
to
have
look at
to look
yourself.
at yourself. If not, you're going to put unnecessary stress on yourself. If I decide I don't have money enough for I would rather just go to court with my husband and let's call it a day. That's it. But for me to now say I want to do intimate wedding, it cannot work. So look at yourself. Look at check your community. How popular are you? How loved are you? Because people only want to go to a wedding of somebody that they love. So like those are really the things to consider, honestly.
Okay. So yeah, I love what you just added. When you said something about you have to look at yourself. If you are the only child, somebody who is well loved by family, like you know, like I know some people like that who everybody loves them. Every
Mhm.
uncle loves them. Every auntie loves them. People, whenever they see them, they are like so happy to see them. Look, you know that your party is not going, your wedding is not going to be a 200% wedding. It's not going
Like
to happen.
how?
Because
How?
those ones will be like, ah, remember that niece I told you about that I love so much? They're like, what? Your niece is getting married? We're coming. That's how it works.
Like July
So
4th, I was at my pastor Mrs. house. One of her friends was like, "Ah, Diola, on your wedding day, we throw down." That's and like I know a few people like that. So like me say I want to have intimate wedding. Who am I deceiving to? You're like who? 200 people. I will just stress myself for no reason. It's like even my little ones, they are 100 already. Let's forget it. So like it's just know yourself, know who you are exactly. Like just like you said, if you're somebody that everybody loves, only work. It ain't gonna happen.
it's not gonna happen. And then know your family too,
Yeah,
because if you have like maybe public figures as a parent or another parent, or you have someone that is very into charity and they're like
yeah,
very helpful in the community, the way most ethnic communities show support is, oh, you helped somebody in my family on this special day, on this
yeah.
honorable day, we have to show up. So
Right.
yes, I know to the younger community it looks very like troublesome, like why do you have to show up? We don't want you there. Boundaries, yes, everything correct. But for some people, that's their own honor mode. So like what Adiola said, just kind of knowing yourself, and then you make your decision. I don't think you have to like take the parental's reactions too much to heart, because just culturally we can be super dramatic. The parents can be super dramatic. So it might be like you have killed me. You only gave me 100 invitations instead of 500. Oh, the people at my office should be here. I told them about you, but it is what it is. So a final question. One final question. We're in 2023. People are having events, people are having birthdays, all of that good stuff. So, what is one trend that you're seeing this year that, okay, let me put it this way. What is one wedding trend or one event trend you can't wait for it to be over? And what is a trend that you really like? It can be
The
anything. It can be anything.
the trend that I really like right now is the first look. I do hope that doesn't go
Which
extinct.
one is the first look when they kind of turn and somebody starts crying?
Right.
But can the crying at least go?
So not necessarily cry. Most times I
Why?
cry
Because you've been seeing her. You've been seeing her. What are you crying about though?
because number one, it's your wedding day. Number two, she's all made up and she's in a dress, a beautiful dress. The excitement, the I don't even I get excited. Like I blush. Now I'm not the couple. Like every time we do that, like you can see how I'm blushing now. Just talking about it. Just talking about it.
Cosette has dealt with joy in this life. Cosette
Just
has
talking
dealt
about it,
with
you can see how I'm blushing. So that trend, I hope it doesn't die.
So the first
The
look needs to stay.
Yeah, the first
Okay.
look needs to stay. The trend that I would definitely like to be gone is I saw the funny thing is I saw it at my last wedding and I just kept rolling my eyes, but now it's like it's eluding me.
It is what?
Like I can't remember what it
Oh,
is.
okay. Okay.
Ah, like I literally saw it at my last wedding and I was like, oh my goodness, can we not do this anymore?
Maybe we'll give you some time okay.
It's so like now everybody wants to have balloons on the bed. Like it's too much
Balloons on the
work.
bad. What
Like
bed?
when they're getting ready in the
Oh,
morning.
like the bridesmaids?
Oh, what's that? Let's just design the bed. Let's take pictures. And only
So wait,
why
wait,
we
wait, wait. You designed the bed?
like
People
let's
getting married
no,
now are so extra.
it's
Please, if you
extra.
agree with me, drop something in the comments. Is it
No,
me that is
it's no,
underwhelming?
it's extra. It's like, oh my goodness, like okay, like it's it's a lot. Like it's balloons everywhere. Why are there balloons everywhere? Like
Okay, but can they dress up? Does it affect the way they dress up? Does it
No, it
affect them
doesn't.
moving around?
Yeah, it's in the way because now when we're trying to get on the bed to take pictures, we have to be finding place to put balloon. Because why? Like why exactly? So like yeah, I'm ready for that to go. I completely agree with the corset too. Can we go back to just zipping up the dress and stop putting rope like robe? Like what is that? Like
Well,
let's just zip. Let's just zip, please. Let's zip dress. I've
but
been going.
corsets must have, corsets must have its good side. Like if not, people wouldn't like. I don't have any corset. Like I think the last time I wore a corset was like maybe 12 years ago.
Like most times the bridesmaids are
I
so
feel like
busy looking too beautiful, looking wanting to
I,
outshine the
I was
brides
going to talk about that. Like,
that now the bride is struggling to sometimes if I can beat bridesmaids like
but you know what? I also have to be fair. I have to be. She said, no, it does not get it. I have to be fair though. As a bride, right?
hmm
You need to let your chief bridesmaid and your bridesmaids know. So of course, when we first started, we talked about this bride who told everybody that they must be size 8. And if they're not size 8, go lose weight, right? That one is extreme,
right.
and dramatic and just silly, right? But it's okay for me to tell you as a bridesmaid that I thank you for going to be my bridesmaid. This, or even before thank you, I want you to be my bridesmaid, and this and this and this is like job description.
Sis,
It's
between me and
okay.
you, I be telling them we have a list of the things that they're expected to do. On the day that we do the rehearsal, I tell the bridesmaids, I need you to pay attention to the bride. It's not about you. This is what I need you to do. When you wake up, make sure the bride stays hydrated. Make sure she eats. Make sure
And if
on
and
that
none of
on
that,
the day of the wedding, you will still be looking for them when it's time for the bride to get dressed. That's when they will remember that they've not steamed their dress. That's when they will remember that their makeup is no, like the things that my eyes are seeing
I'm
in this
seeing
wedding planning business. Oh my goodness.
it. But
But thank God, because I was still not ready for anything. I
yes,
love
I was going to say that. I know you wouldn't trade it for anything, and I know that your brides are always smiling at the
they are.
end. I know your brides are always smiling at the end. So, I'm just grateful because God knows that no Caucasian can deal with the way we do our stuff on the motherland when it comes to combining two weddings.
Right.
And I personally can't wait. Like one trend I would love to see is us finishing our traditional weddings and
Mm-hmm.
walking into the church with our traditional clothes and kneeling in front of the church and being done with that and going to the reception. If I got married now, that's what I would do.
That's
I
what
would not
you're
change
doing?
into I would not change into a white dress. I
Really?
wouldn't expect my husband to change into a suit. The most we would do is try to fashion our traditional fabric into clothes that looked a bit
Like
formal,
mm.
which we already do.
Yes.
Yes, our traditional our
The traditional,
engagement
yeah,
dresses.
they're very nice dresses. Yeah.
Yes, the only difference is that our men have an agbada, and they could have the agbada, and they could have the suits. So they could just make the suits
That
and
would be
switch it
nice.
up with the pants. It could
That
be
would be a
done.
nice one.
It could be done. I think, it's God, right? And God is not expecting us to show up in white people
True.
clothes. So I think it's something to think about. I don't know.
True.
I don't know. But
True.
anyway, if anyone, has a final comment, oh yes, Yes. So
Girls.
I've been, dropping hints about a renewal for a while now. Some people don't want to take the bait. They're using me to mow their lawn. But the Lord is on the throne. I
The
don't
lawn
know.
that all of us are suffering rain for.
I don't know why, but let's see what happens with this winner. But yes, yeah, you are smelling a renewal. Let's see when it will happen. Let's see when it will happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my first wedding definitely was for the parents. I can't even, and I was quick to just tell them to
Hand it
carry it
over
and go.
to
Yeah, just go with it. Another thing is if the parents are paying, by all means, just go.
go
Just go
right,
ahead and
right,
do
right.
whatever. But if they are paying, there is a level of um, there's a level of boundaries that you will not be able to push for. I feel like the person who is putting money down
Yeah,
typically is the one who is right.
yeah. Who pays the piper dictates the tune.
Dictates the tune. Plenty English. Okay. So thank you so much, Adeola, for coming. So we're rounding up, guys. Yes. Yes, by all means, yes, because I'm already picking my bridesmaids. Adeola said my girl is ready for the wedding. What do you mean your girl? You're going to be one of the bridesmaids. Stop. So I'm already picking my bridesmaids. The only issue is that all my friends are taller than me.
It's okay.
So I don't know what we'll do, but
It's
let's see what
okay. We
happens.
make it work.
Yes, Joy says she's steaming her bridesmaid dress. Let me tell you, everybody should be size 5. I'm going to buy
Okay.
everybody's dress down. You must go to the gym and you must work out. You must
your
run
nails,
because only
your
the
nails
because
must be
only
cut
the
short.
wicked run. Only the wicked run when nobody's chasing them. You must run. You must run. Okay, so if you guys have any final questions, now is the time. Thank you so much for coming on to the breakdown with Bjorn. Look, you're the perfect first guest for 2023, even though you slept off on Sunday. You are
Oh my
You're
god.
still the perfect guest because this is just a great way for us to start to kick off the breakdown with Building for this year. So yes, if you're just joining, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, share so people can watch the replay and learn. For anyone who's hosting any events this year, the absolute truth is that there is inflation. It has touched everything. It has touched balloon. It has touched
Yep.
flour. It has
Yep.
touched you want amala this on the spot or your wedding. It has touched amala too. Everything has been touched, right? So any closing words, dear?
I just want to say that wedding planning is not as tedious as we make it to be. If you if you have the right planner on your team, which is
Okay,
why
okay, okay, yes.
event, we
Mhm.
got you locked down. We took away the stress, like absolutely
Okay.
no stress. You will enjoy the process of wedding planning. No jokes.
So
And
if you're watching, thank you so much for joining us. Adeola is the CEO of West by Events. I have seen her plan um, Independence Day celebrations, wedding days, traditional engagements, concerts. So I've seen her do different kinds of events. She always does it with a lot of grace. She is she's a stickler for time. I've seen her moving around events, telling people, look, time. You need to be on time. I've seen her doing that and I'm just laughing. I'm like, mm-mm. And she's talking, she's like texting on her phone. I know she's rating somebody because of the time. But to be honest, especially for events that are ethnic, that people would put on the invitation 2 o'clock and nobody will show up until 5. It's the reason why if you don't see me at an event, that's why. It's the reason why I don't really like show up at events like that. Because I can't do it.
yeah.
I can't do it. I cannot. I can't. But I've seen that you are good at getting people to, show up and the time that they should show up. But of course, not everything is set in stone. Things happen on at their events. I would personally say if you're planning an event that is very big, right? Don't try to put it all on yourself. Don't stress yourself out so that you can enjoy the event. Reach out to a wedding planner, reach out to Adeola, reach out to West by Events, and she'll get you right. So Thank you so much, Adela, for
Thank
coming.
you for having
Thank
me.
you so much for coming. I look forward to having you on Reading is a Power Move. So, guys, if you're
Okay.
watching, I have a new show that's coming up. It's called Reading is a Power Move. And I like review books. And sometimes authors show up. Sometimes it's just me reviewing a book that I love or that I find interesting. So, I'm looking forward to having Adela on talking about Road to Self. Okay, so I want to see a few buys in the comments before we go. Thank you so much, Henry. Shout out to you, Joy. Shout out to Adela. Um, Shout out to Easy Breezy Life. Shout out to Abigail. Shout out to everybody. And to Adela's mom, our alarm clock. God bless you.
Wow.
Yes, wow. All right, guys. All righty. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. Yes, bye,
Bye.
Facebook user. I am the healer is here. Oh my gosh, we enjoyed her part of AL so much. Like
Yes.
I can't wait for the video to come out. I'm
Me
so
too.
excited. I can't wait
Me
for the video to
too.
come out.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Bye.
All right.